to you all. Let me extend greetings to the Senior Counsel and his team, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. Good morning. Thank you so much for your presence. The staff of Parliament and the committee secretariat in particular, members of the media, good morning and welcome. I hope that you have rested. We worked until very late last night, but here we are again today to resume proceedings. It's a day in which members are going to be given an opportunity to ask questions to General Mkhwanazi. But last night, when we concluded our meeting, we said that we will get a report from the Democratic Alliance on what is their take on the matter which was discussed here. Do you have any report, Honorable Cameron?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good morning. Chair, in short, the Honourable Kola Barnard is not in attendance today. She'll be following virtually, and no one is being recused yet or planning to be recused. We have asked for a legal opinion on the matter, and we will give the relevant feedback. We have decided that the Honourable Kola Barnard will not be in physical attendance today to allow the committee to do what they need to do and to continue with their work. Thank you, Chair.
Did you bring a member?
I've got the Honourable Schikkeling right next to me, Chair.
Is she the alternate of the alternate? Or?
No, she is alternate, Chair, and she will be in the place of the Honourable Kola Barnard today.
Okay. Honourable members, I think what we should do here is that. Okay, Honourable Cameron.
Sorry, Chair, I slipped. She's in the place of the Honourable Breitenbach. The Honourable Kola Barnard is an alternate. She is already an alternate. Yeah. So the Honourable Schikkeling will remain in the place of the Honourable Breitenbach.
Yeah, we are not going to take the time of the committee and use it to discuss that matter because the member is not here. Let's do the business. Our business is not Honourable Kola Barnard. Our business is to investigate the allegations that have been made. And because today she is not here, we can't discuss that matter now. We should just go straight into our proceedings. But I'm going to request members to read section 165 of the rules so that when we come to discuss that matter, all of us have gone through section 165 and we know what the provisions of that section are, because the provisions of that section will help us to deal with this matter. Thanks very much. This is how we are going to proceed today. I have met with all of you this morning to inform you how we are going to proceed in line with how we agreed last night. Okay, maybe let me just do the roll call. Honourable Sangoni, are you present? Honourable Ntuli, Honourable Ngola, Honourable Sokhanyile, Honorable Nomvalo, Honorable Skosana, Honorable Shongwe, Honorable Cameron, Honorable Shikele, Honorable Mwango, Honorable Malema, Honorable N. Matthews, Honorable Sols, Honorable Vessels, Honorable James. Thank you so much. We are all present. This is what we are going to do. The apology of Honorable Brayden Buxton's, the JSC is still busy with its sessions. We are going to allocate the ANC, Honorable Sangon, 1 hour plus 10 minutes. The MKP, 30 minutes plus 10. The DA, 30 minutes plus 10. And the EFF, 30 minutes plus 10. The IFP, 30 minutes. And the PA, 30 minutes. The Freedom Front Plus, 10 minutes. And the Action SA, 10 minutes. So, in your case, MKP and the EFF, the 30 minutes are allocated to you because you are going to have one speaker plus one alternate. The EFF as well will have one speaker plus one alternate. But in the event you want to share the 30 minutes plus 10 amongst yourself and the alternate, you can still speak, the three of you, Honorable Skosana, Honorable Nomvalo, Honorable Shongwe, but you will be limited within 40 minutes. It's 30 minutes for the full member and 10 minutes for the alternate. The full member of the EFF is Honorable Malema. In the event he uses 25 minutes of his 30, Honorable Matthews can use the remaining 15 minutes. That is how the allocation is done. And the alternates for the IFP and the PA are Honorable Vessels and Honorable James respectively. So in the event either Honorable Mwango or Honorable Sols are unable to exhaust their 30 minutes, the remainder of the time allocated will fall to those alternates. Is it very clear, honorable members? And then from there, when we are done with this first round, we will then come back to the second round, where we will take the last member of the ANC, MKP, and DA, and then we round off. So, so the time that is allocated to yourselves does not include the response time which the witness will be using. I see your hand is up, Honorable Sangwe.
Yes, Chair. Thank you so much. Good morning to you, Chairperson, and good morning to all members, the General and everybody in the room. Chair, I just wanted clarity on ANC time. So we have 4 members, which means that we have 2 hours plus 10 minutes, not 1 hour and 10 minutes. In the first round, it can be 1 hour in the second round. So I just wanted clarity on that. And then, Chairperson, you also then indicated that the time does not include the responses. In the committee, the agreement was that that time includes the responses. Because I mean, if we literally have 30 minutes to ask a question, we are never going to finish. Our understanding was that it includes the responses and we would have planned accordingly. My final point, Chair, is in terms of allocation of our time, can we leave it to the discretion of the party how we allocate our time, having appreciated what you said of 2 rounds and the total amount of time being 2 hours, 10 minutes? Thank you, Chair.
That is what I'm saying to you. Let me clarify it, honorable members. I said that for the first round, you are going to have two speakers. So it means in your case, you will have 2 + 1. And I don't have a problem with how you allocate your time. It's 1 hour, 10 minutes. And then you use it the way you want to use it. But once it peters out, I'm going to stop you. And then you are right. The ANC has 4 members in this. You have 4 + 1. So the misfortune of the ANC is that the 4th member of the ANC is the chair of these proceedings. So the chair has a discretion to ask questions. And being a disciplined chair, if I ask questions, I won't go beyond the 30 minutes that we allocate for members. I can't abuse my position as the chair, but remember, I have that right as a member of the committee to participate and ask questions, but it must be within our agreements or the decisions that we would have taken. Honorable Nomval.
I was looking for the mic and I couldn't find it. There are supernatural powers. Chair, no, I don't remember us as the committee making an agreement that the 30 minutes will also include responses. I'm sure all of us noticed yesterday, and even if we had taken that agreement, it was not going to be ideal under the circumstances, considering how broad our first...
I don't want us to waste time, honorable member. I think it's what the chair said yesterday. I even gave an example to say, if you ask a question and the witness takes 29 minutes of the time responding to your question, it means the member is put at a disadvantage.
That's
and
correct.
It defeats the purpose of the ad hoc committee.
So if we agree, Chair, then that's okay.
Yeah. Honorable Malema.
Thanks, Chair. I hear people talking about second round. Some of us minimum is 3, so I don't understand. But we'll accept whatever you're saying on the rounds of second and third. But we normally do 3 rounds. Natural. So, so I wanted you to understand, you are going to start the questions.
Yeah.
Because you have to start and then hand it over to us.
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand that.
Yeah. Okay. Like now, what I want to check with yourselves, is there anybody who we're on the first round? Is there anybody who wishes to start, or any party that wishes to start with its 30 minutes plus 1 or 1 hour? I mean 30 minutes plus 10 or Okay, I see the MKP and the ANC. So let me follow the rotation system then. I'm handing over to yourselves, the African National Congress. Can you indicate how many from your party are going to ask?
On the first round, Chair,
Yeah.
going to be 2.
1 hour plus 10 minutes.
Going to be 2, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. It's over to you.
Thank you very much,
And then
Chair.
your time starts now.
Thank you very much,
Okay, on a point of order.
the procedural matter.
Procedural.
Yeah.
I thought procedurally, like I said, you will have to start. So that as a chair, you lay the foundation. And then when we come, we know how to conduct ourselves. So it's the SC. Once the SC is done, then the chair comes in. Then you lay a foundation. That's the purpose of being a chair. Then all of us are going to follow that cue. And it doesn't mean you chose that you will not speak for more than 30 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah.
But even if you decide to speak more than that, you are the chair. You use that discretion. But if something else is being suggested, it's like I once said in a political party meeting where a president suggested that members of the NEC must give a political overview. How can you do that? So as a chair, you give direction, the style of questioning, how we conduct it, and we learn from you and we follow exactly what you have done. That's what being a chair means. So normally it goes to the leader of evidence. Once it's done, it goes to the chair, then chair takes it to the members. But if it's different, I don't know.
Chief Whip.
No, morning, Chair, morning to all colleagues and general and all participants and attendees to this meeting. No, Chair, I don't think that there is a binding procedure like that, where you have to be the first person to ask questions. You are the chair of the committee. And part of your responsibility, which is what Honorable Malema says you must exercise, cannot be constrained by the fact that you did not start, which is to guide us to discharge our own responsibilities in a way that is consistent with the terms of references of this committee and in line with our mandate as members of parliament. The justification that Honorable Malema is making to qualify his argument that you must be the first among equals, I think that intervention he says you have to do, it's not difficult to do it, even if you are not the first person to start asking questions. So I want to suggest that we allow members to ask questions. And if in your own opinion, Chair, along the way, you also want to make use of the time allocated to you, you should be perfectly clear to do so. But I don't think the condition that is being set would be difficult to fulfill if you are not the first one to ask questions. Thanks.
Oh, okay, can I check if there are members who want to speak on this matter?
No, I withdraw, Chair. I was giving you an opportunity to set the tone. But if you don't come from COSAS, you wouldn't understand what is said in the tone. Yes.
No. Honorable members, what we should do, let's allow the chair to use his discretion. I'm your chairperson. At any stage during the proceedings, I should be able to participate. And so what we should do now is to allow the parties and the members to fill their questions. Honorable James, your hand is still up.
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, just a clarity-seeking question from my side in terms of the format of which we'll be posing these questions. Will it be questions and then answered immediately after, or will you cluster it?
Yeah,
Will it be question and answer question, or will we ask all our questions and then the general will answer it?
let's take the questions two so that there is no lapse in concentration. Like we normally rotate items in our meeting. You fill 2 questions, you wait for response, fill 2 until your list is exhausted. Okay. Honorable Ngola from the ANC is yourself and Honorable Sokanyila. Okay, thank you so much. May you kindly speak, Honorable Member.
Good morning, Chair. Thank you very, very much. I just wanted to find out, because yesterday we had 2 colleagues of our SC. The other one was released to go and consult with General Sibiya. Today I'm seeing there's 2 new members. Now, I'm not sure, what is the modus operandi? Maybe tomorrow again there'll be another 2, the next day another 2, the next day another 2. So I just wanted clarity on that. Thank you.
No, my apologies, Honorable Member. The Senior Counsel has spoken to me about the matter. The lady that you see sitting next to the Senior Counsel is part of Parliament staff because the 2 juniors or core evidence leaders who work with Advocate Arendse are concluding that part which was supposed to have concluded yesterday with General Sibiya, but also to make sure that when we come here tomorrow, we do not have the same hiccups like we had yesterday. Is that acceptable to members? I want to apologize that I did not bring that to your attention. Thank you. Honorable Ngola, are you able to start? Are you ready?
Yes, Chair, if not interrupted again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to members. Good morning to the evidence leaders, General Mkhwanazi, and the people of South Africa. Chair, I want to first implore you to expedite the interactions with the chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. I think the last time you reported that there must be a follow-up with them. I'm imploring you, Chair, on this matter because the General would have also mentioned some intelligence-related matters that which include the COVID and secret fund account, that which include some walls being built. And there's an issue of the questions that were deferred to the JSCI. So we may actually be willing to understand if the JSCI has attended to those matters that were formal questions to Parliament by Honorable Kolapanat. So I think we'll be able to get to the bottom of that. General, good morning. And I will want to implore you again as well that where the question requires specific names, if they are known to you, please don't hesitate to tell us the names of those that may have been allegedly involved in the alleged criminal syndicate. General, you say on the 31st of December 2024, whilst you're busy preparing for the new year, the minister writes a letter, a national directive with the intention of de-establishing the political killings trustee. So I want to check if the directive was it wholly unlawful, or there were parts of the directive that were actually within the powers of the minister in terms of section 207, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, good morning. Honorable members, I will not say that the minister's directive was unlawful, because yourself as members of parliament have never passed a legislation that makes a letter of that nature to be unlawful. Therefore, I don't think a person can be taken to court as a result. However, I feel that the content of the letter, it's an indication that the ministers was basically exercising powers that are not necessarily deferred to him, which was bordering into the operational part of policing. But why do I say that? Is that if you look at the 3 items that the letter is addressing, one item talks about discussions that must be held surrounding the borders. I think that is more relevant to the minister. It's a strategic thing that the minister must engage with executive to understand what's happening with the border security. So that one for me, I'll give it to the minister. But the one that directs that there must be an immediate freezing or filling of post, I feel is not within the authority of the minister, although the regulations have been amended, which allows the minister to have a say in terms of appointment of senior officers in the police. But it only limits the minister to that any appointment will be done by the National Commissioner in consultation with. It does not necessarily give the powers to the minister to appoint in those positions of crime intelligence. I think the Act only allows the minister to appoint in the post of DPCI only. That's the only authority the minister has. So in filling those vacancies or suspension of those vacancies, I feel the minister might have exercised the powers that he really doesn't have. But of it being illegal in terms of the law, I'm not sure. I don't think it will be justified as that. The last part of the immediate suspension of or disestablishment of the team, as the minister's words on the letter, again, I cannot say immediately that such a directive will be illegal. However, the consequence as a result of that becomes a criminal matter. Because when you disestablish something and that is busy with a criminal investigation, you are not replacing it with anything. So we are in short saying that the investigation must stop. So that therefore it's breaking the law. So while the letter contains all the 3 subjects, the last one that talks about the disestablishment of the team without giving reasons, without explaining what happens to the investigation, that for me is the one that could be regarded as breaking the law. So in short, in summary, I will say then the letter does break the law, although not the entire content of it.
So it is the evidence of the general that the letter itself contains both operational issues and policy-related issues.
That is correct.
Thank you very much, General. You indicate that in the letter that which was returned to the National Commissioner, there was a back and forth of the letter by someone else who presumable or allegedly it may not be part of the police service in South Africa. Is it in the knowledge now at this stage of the general of who might be this person who has influenced the writing of the letter or the directive? Who may be the actual drafter? Is it in your knowledge at this particular stage, General?
No, Honorable Chair members, I do not know yet. As I had said earlier yesterday that I've registered a complaint and there's a criminal investigation. I'm told that the criminal investigation is in advanced stage and the part of what they're investigating is exactly that, checking the communication between the minister and the chief of staff, through WhatsApps, through emails, through everything to trace that letter. Where did it originate from? So I guess that matter will be ventilated in court. I don't have the details now.
Thank you, General. Without ventilating into the merits of that investigation, does the General think that this might be a person very close or linked to the Minister of Police?
I would like to believe that it is a person linked with the Minister of Police. And a matter of fact, it is my belief that it is a person within the South African Police Service.
Thank you, General. In the WhatsApp messages that some of them have been part of the attachments here in the volumes of the documentation that was given to us, you mentioned that you have written a WhatsApp text to the Minister of Police, humbly requesting that a meeting be facilitated with the National Commissioner and other top brass of the police service. But part of what is contained in the message that you sent to the minister is that, can there be an invitation, can the invitation be extended to Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi, who is not part of the police service? Why did you think that there is a necessity for an involvement of the person who's not part of the police service in such kind of meetings? Because we understand that you may have wanted something to be resolved.
Yeah, the honorable members, the reason why I propose those names is because of the role that those people were playing in influencing the trajectory or how the organization is managed by the minister going forward. So after having learned that Mr. Mkhwanazi is close to the minister by the chief of staff, after having heard the minister himself said that Mr. Mkhwanazi is his comrade. So understanding that as a minister, you are executive authority that come from a political party. So perhaps it is that political party through that comrade that gives you this advice politically of how you must manage organization. And the worry was the continuation of this individual, Brown Mkhwanazi, having access to sensitive material of the police and the impact of that in terms of the minister's role as executive authority is what I wanted to bring to the attention of the minister. And so that the minister is aware of the implications of allowing Mkhwanazi to do that and what is the consequence as a result that's going to come after that. Same with inviting General Khan. I specifically picked up General Khan amongst everyone else because it is Mkhwanazi that brought Khan into my picture. And it is General Khan that almost everything bad happening at crime intelligence seems to center around. That I know his role in the political space where he interacts with the politicians. And I wanted all those things to be discussed so that the minister understands that the Police Act has got limitations of what police officers must do in terms of the political space. And if a police officer is invited to play this active role in the political space, what consequences are going to come as a result? So that's why I identify these individuals, not to say, honorable chair and members, that if there was any criminal incident that has happened or the criminal involvement or act by these individuals, that such will not be pursued. It was going to be pursued. But what I felt was important at the time was to prevent the further damage that was caused in the organization by the roles that these people are playing and how the minister eventually takes decision being influenced by these individuals. So that was the main reason I wanted to have all of them under one room.
Okay, in one of the trail of WhatsApp messages, you do make an indication that this directive affect me and my family. Are you safe? Is your family threatened and your loved ones, are they Do you feel that there is enough protection in terms of the fracas that is going on in the country?
Honorable Chair and members, the safety of my family is a responsibility of police officers around the country. I said in the public before that I've got family members in majority of these provinces of South Africa. And to guarantee their safety, it's up to the men and women in blue out there to provide security. I don't have money, Honorable Chair and members, to hire bodyguards for my family members. It's impossible. I cannot do that. So their safety can only be guaranteed by men and women in blue that are out there that's supposed to be protect everyone else. So I might believe that their safety is equal to the safety of every citizen. Their vulnerability in terms of crime applies to the rest of the citizens of this country. So they are not different to anyone else. There's no special provisions for them, and I cannot guarantee whether they are safe or not safe. They are immediate family members to me. They are extended family members on me, and then there are other people that we became close to over time that are all over. So I cannot give a 100% guarantee about their safety. It is what I'm trying to fight for, that the South African Police Service must be allowed to make sure that we protect the citizens, including my family members.
In general, let's move to IDEC prosecution, judiciary and correctional services. And I will plead with you once more that where a necessity arises for you to mention a particular name, please feel free to do that. You say IDEC, the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, is divided into two sections. And you refer to one of the sections as a rogue section. Maybe if you can take the committee through, how did you arrive at the conclusion that IDEC is divided into two? And who are the prominent members of this rogue section in IDEC? And Chair, I'm also asking this because I'm Chair of Justice, so it's very important for our work as well.
Honorable Chair and members, the entity within the NPA that is responsible for investigating corruption in the country, which was recently established, I say this divided into two sections. I made an example yesterday and I invited the members to do the profile of an arresting officer of the members of crime intelligence. You're going to know that he's an ex-crime intelligence member. And when you look at what IDEC is supposed to deal with, then you ask yourself whether does this investigating officer, Mr. Padayache, fits the profile of being appointed at IDEC to first place. Whether does he have qualifications, skills, and everything to do with investigation to deal with such sensitive cases that the legislature was intended to be done by IDEC. That's a point of departure that you're going to see that is people that will just move. That's the first thing. Secondly, you look at the number of cases that are within IPIT, or they were within IPIT when Mr. Sesoko was still the boss, head of investigation at IPIT. And how many of those case dockets were moved from IPIT to IDEC? And what was the reason for such movement? And that's another reason why I'm saying that. And thirdly, you look at just a profile of all the cases IDEC is dealing with, and you take that entire caseload, you compare with the establishment of IDEC, and you see whether a typical example of the arrest of an appointment of an officials within crime intelligence of who's going to earn a salary over a period of 12 months of just over R1 million, does it meet the requirements of what IDEC was established for? For IDEC to travel from Pretoria, coming here and take a statement from the complainant, the Member of Parliament, is that what IDEC, is that what the legislature was intending to do with IDEC? Or has IDEC lost the plot? So those are the typical examples that I'm putting there. The other members within the very same section of IDEC I'm talking about, might have found themselves there because they're looking for jobs. But we are here today because some of those members do not like what's happening. They themselves, they are there, they see the wrong. They are doing because they're employed, but at least they get to share this information. Hence, we are here today. We are privileged that there might be members within the very bad section of IDEC, but they are good in their heart because they are able to share this information with us. They are there, they can see what is wrong, and I cannot expose them now and say so and so and so and so. So while the section is a bad section, but not everyone in that section is bad. There are members within the very same section that are good at heart. They just don't like what's happening, and I cannot give their names, unfortunately. I want to isolate that one, Mr. Padaj.
So is it the evidence of the general that Mr. Padiak is possible the center of the rogue section at IDEC?
I will argue that he's not.
Okay.
He's an enabler. He's a pawn in the game.
Okay.
He's the one that's been used. You know, as when you in your house, you're going to have the small dog that is very sensitive to noise, is going to bark, and then you have the real big dog that will tackle an enemy. So that's what Padache is.
And I hope that
He's a runner.
I hope that the general is not saying Padiak is a dog. Eh?
No. I did not say he's a dog. I said he's a pawn in the whole scheme of things. He's the one that is more the runner. He's the one that goes to the Inspector of Intelligence to negotiate things. He's the one that goes to court and demand cause. He's the one that the magistrate, in the bail condition of the members of crime intelligence, the magistrate give Padach an authority to access crime intelligence. If these members want anything at crime intelligence, they must get it from Padach. So Padach, being an ex-crime intelligence member, is given a carte blanche to enter from point A to point B of the Office of Crime Intelligence by the court of this country.
Okay. Let's go to the arrest of General.
Honorable Nwala, before we proceed, can we just confirm to the members that the statement that the general made was metaphoric? Can we get that confirmation? Look, what he says is that when you have a small dog and a big dog in the house, and the understanding must be that it is a metaphor. Is that so, General?
That's why I use the word, for example, when I started. So
that we must not live here with that impression. I know you said it, that he does not mean that so-and-so is a dog. And it must be clarified for everybody's understanding that this phrase or this statement is metaphorical. We have a common understanding, all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. No, the general understands that it was on a lighter note. Let's take it to yesterday. You took us through the processes that led to the arrest of General Khumalo, and you said the arrest of Khumalo is a project to stop criminal investigations in Gauteng province. Can you give the committee and the people of South Africa the nature of this project and who possible names that are at the center or are leading this project or are part of this project?
Honorable Chair, members, I did indicate yesterday that it's a sensitive project that is within the intelligence.
Okay.
I cannot elaborate much on what's happening. Safe to say that it being regarded as Gauteng counterintelligence operation, it will involve the intelligence community of the country. Therefore, although there is an investigation, criminal investigation that end up in court, but in terms of the extent of the risk that the investigation is involved with, and the targets that have been identified through that investigation, I'm not in a liberty to talk about it because one, I'm not necessarily part of it. I got to know about it by default because of the counter that has been happening in order to stop that investigation. So that's why I became aware, but I'm not in a liberty to talk about it in this platform. Honorable Chair and members, it's going to be important to understand that I said earlier that General Khumalo and the team are facing attacks on two sides. One attack is in relation to the investigation that's happening in Gauteng, which is mainly trucks that are operating. And that affects the people that are closer to the senior investigators in the South African Police Service, because when cases are open, they expect police officers to take those cases and make sure that they are not investigated further. That is on one side. And on the other side, which I think is more critical one, is that the arrest is affected because of the fight back by members within crime intelligence who are against the reforms that are introduced at crime intelligence. So they want to take control of a crime intelligence. So it's in those two bases that you're having criminal issues on one side in Johannesburg, but you also have crime intelligence fight for these members to have control over these resources. That's what, in the main, I believe, that leads into this arrest. That's why you're going to see the court coming up with a court order that says you are accused of being part of the panel to appoint one person who applied for the post in the police. You facilitated that appointment, which you didn't necessarily appoint yourself. You were just facilitating on behalf of the National Commissioner, and you made recommendations, but you get arrested for that, for being part of facilitation of that process. And then the court makes a court order that says, we are accused of having done this wrong. The state is accusing you for this. And this incident happened at this particular address in Pretoria. But the magistrate rules that you are prohibited from entering any crime intelligence offices anywhere else in the Republic of South Africa. So even if there was a crime intelligence office here in Cape Town, they are not supposed to enter the premises. So when you ask yourself, what is the relevance of not entering an office of crime intelligence in Cape Town versus you being accused of being part of the panel to appoint someone in Pretoria? You just doesn't make sense. I'm not a legal expert, but the common sense tells you that there's more into this than what we hear. Someone is going to accuse me and say the matters are in court, you can't talk about it. But the truth be told, we all human beings. We all got weaknesses as human beings. One way or another, you become weak on something for whatever reason. So I believe in this case, that bail condition that was granted was not coincidental, was not just a mistake, was a calculated move.
Thank you, General. Chair, I think the issue relating to the project on General Khumalo and the disruptions of the reforms in crime intelligence, we can leave them for now. I'm judging from how the General is answering. We can leave them for now for that later, maybe in camera a meeting. General, you since the 6th of July 2025, you kept on using criminal syndicates, drug cartels, interchangeable. And later when you went to testify even in the commission, you spoke about a big five. Do you perhaps feel comfortable to share who are these big five that you keep on referring to? I don't want us to use code names. If it's possible that you can share with us and the people of South Africa that who are these people who are part of the big five who are actually running drug cartels in the country and possibly controlling some of the institutions of government.
Honorable Chair and members, I'm not sure whether the members have the statement that should have annexed on this statement, which is a statement that I presented before the Madlanga Commission. If I were to invite the members, maybe I think it's attached NSM3, if I'm not mistaken.
Which volume, General?
I'm trying to figure out now these volumes myself. Just give me a second, Honorable Chair.
They say it's volume 3. So it's NSM what? Did you get the page?
It should be on my statement. And but on which volume is it?
It's volume 3.
Volume 3 or 3.1.
What is the page number? Do you have it, evidence leader?
Page number. Okay, I want to invite the members on that volume 1, NMS3, to open page 83. Page 83. So in paragraph 275.
Okay, you can proceed, General.
Okay, honorable members, Chair, to answer the question of the honorable member, I think it's important to look at that sketch that we put in the statement. You are asking who are these big fives? We can only talk about the big five of those that are already arrested and they are in court. Those that have not been arrested, unfortunately, we're not in a liberty to talk about them. You will see that the big five on this graph are those that are marked with red on that picture on the left. So that whole group, the only names that we are making it visible here are the 2 names. And that's a name of a Vusmus Matlala, who's known as Cat, as well as Katiso Molefe. Both individuals have been to court, and I think you are privy to the court processes related to their cases. We have the other 3 that we did not reflect here. They are known. Their names are known. I must say, honorable chair and members, these are tenderpreneurs. These are the people that the government has been awarding tenders to. They are quite big financially. They are part of this whole lot. We did not put their names because we did not want to implicate people before they appear before court, except the others. The place that we feel comfortable to talk about it, we name the names, and the others that we're not comfortable with, we did not put the names.
That's fine, General. That's accepted. You say there is an involvement of the judiciary in all this fracas. But in that process, you mentioned only one fellow magistrate, Mahlangu. Are there any other magistrates or judges? Because when you say the judiciary, we include the 2. Any other magistrates or judges that are suspected to be aiding this alleged criminal syndicate? And in respect of Magistrate Mahlangu, what is her links in the entire syndicate?
Honorable members, again, I don't want to go deeper into the status of the investigation, who's who in this whole puzzle. Therefore, I'm not even talking about the names of people that are part of the criminal activities. I said when I addressed that they are presiding officers, which are members of the judiciary, that are participating in these illegal activities. And it's not one and not two. And I confine myself to this criminal investigation. That's why I made a reference to those that are in Gauteng province. So I'm not going to call them by names. The magistrate that you are talking about, although I did not call him by name, I mentioned the magistrate because he's presiding over the matter that is in court already, has got to do with the arrest of his members and the bail condition that was granted. So it's that which I'm only highlighting, that you have a magistrate that sits and listens to what the state is asking for, and then the magistrate come up with his own rules, his own rulings, contrary to what the state has asked for, and more stringent things. Then you ask yourself a question: but why? Why do you have to go to this extent, magistrate? And these are the questions that, when things like this happen, it makes us to go deeper to try and establish exactly what then is the role of this individual in this whole investigation that you are busy with. So I have not called his name, and I have not called any presiding officer's name. And those details will be made visible by the team if they're so willing, but it cannot be done in the open meeting.
Thank you, General. I think we'll skip to the next three questions because they are related to what the General is talking about, an ongoing investigation. So as it relates to the judiciary and the link to the crime syndicate, we'll just keep it. Maybe we'll deal with it when time allows. Let's go back to. You say there is a prosecutor who has submitted an application for a warrant of arrest to a magistrate for it to be signed, but later called that warrant must be withdrawn because he or she does not want to lose her job. Do you mind sharing with the committee and the people of South Africa, who is this prosecutor? From whom did they get this call? Who apparently is this powerful person who might be aiding some of the wrong things within the criminal justice system? And you'll forgive me, General. I said that some of the questions I'm asking because I'm the chair of justice. So they are part of the mandate that we've been given.
Yeah, I'm going to invite Honorable Chair. There are quite a lot of information that might need to be revealed by the team that is busy with investigation that experienced that, because I received the report. I said on my statement when I started that information I'm presenting before the ad hoc committee is information that I saw on my own eyes, information that I was authorized to have access to, and information that was shared to me by my colleagues as they are working. So some of the things I might not necessarily give it to in black and white, for instance, to give you the name of the magistrate, but I'm confident that those members whom their names I can give you, that were involved, they can come before this committee, and I will request that it can be done in a closed meeting where they can tell you exactly who the magistrate are, because those are the members that are from counterintelligence. So I wouldn't want them to be then coming before cameras here and exposing themselves as coming from counterintelligence, because their lives will be in danger. But they will come and give you a sworn statement about what transpired on the day. And subsequent to that, what then was the intervention that was done with the National Director of Public Prosecution? And subsequent to that, what happened? Who are the advocates who are part of that meeting? And what was the discussion in that meeting? And how was it resolved?
Okay. On the 6th of July, in the press briefing, which is annexed here as SM3 in the NSM3 in the annexures, the statement of the 6th of July, you kept on mentioning correctional services, but as time goes, you don't go deeper as it relates to who are these officials within correctional services, and what is their link and their role in aiding the operations of the crime syndicate?
Honorable members, as part of the investigation, without putting people's names, I made an example of, and which is a public knowledge that you all know about. The Minister of Correctional Service, the National Commission of Correctional Service, they always conduct raids at correctional facilities. And when they do those raids, they always come up with illicit goods that are not supposed to be in there. We are still trying to figure out how does Thabo Bester get out of prison and he'll end up in a foreign country. This is a typical example of how bad the system is within the correctional service. We've got a lot of examples on how crime is organized behind bars, how people get killed by people that are behind bars, that get released to go out and murder someone and come back into correctional facility. So what we cited as an example when we made our presentation is that Ye is one of the big fives, Mr. Matlala, is arrested and is detained at the maximum prison of our country in Pretoria, Kosimampo, but is caught with a cell phone inside that facility. So that cell phone for sure was not dropped from the sky to get into the courtyard for him to get it. It was facilitated by someone within the correctional facility to have access to it. So we cited that one example, but we're not going to elaborate more of the other people that have had access to that correctional facility to come and see these arrested people and been assisted by the officials within. Some other items that have been given to these people that are arrested of the Big Five, facilitated by individuals within correctional facilities. So that's why I said I'm not going to go deeper into naming the names, who is doing what and who's doing what, because that is part of the criminal investigation that you're busy with. I just highlighted some of the examples in there. But as I was talking about this investigation, I was confining myself in Gauteng, but it's a problem across the country. South Africans will tell you that across the board. You have that problem, that as the human rights allow for people that are in custody to have visiting rights, amongst others, the same human rights then allows illegal activities to happen, because then there's exchange of monies and the likes that are happening, while people are supposed to be taken away from society.
Okay. Is it the evidence of the general that the attempt to de-establish the political killings system was unwarranted? Most importantly, because the executive authority did not solicit a formal briefing from the management of the police service, and also because the political killings system has made a very great impact in terms of fighting political killings of politicians, traditional leaders, and the sort.
That's exactly. The minister who's the executive authority over the South African Police Service come from KwaZulu-Natal. The very same province where this problem exists. The very same province that was a cause of the formation of this team. The minister, having that experience of coming from that province, he goes against his own boss, the President of the Republic, who publicly on the 18th of May says these political killings must stop. And the minister goes out public and he says the political killings ended in 94. There's nothing like that now. So you then ask yourself a question, but what makes the executive authority to even say things against what his bosses say in public? And he has confidence to do that. On top of that, the minister has not received an advice, a briefing from the national commissioner or the executive authority within the police. Disabling so, honorable chair and members, is that the very same act, the members of this parliament felt it is important to establish the civilian secretariat within the South African Police Service. And that civilian secretariat, I feel there's a DG there. And I feel the ministry does not make use of the DG. Because part of the responsibility of the DG as contained in the Police Act is to give legal advice to the minister, is to guide the minister about the do's and the don'ts. But if that DG was invited by the minister to brief him or seek advice before he signs such letters, we wouldn't be here today. The ignorance of that office of the executive secretariat of the police is part of the contribution that leads us into the wrong decision taken by the minister. He might not have been briefed by police management, but at least the DG at the civilian secretary will have briefed him, because that's the responsibility of that DG. But it looked like the minister did not take advice from all those people. I do not know whether the DG did brief him or not. Perhaps he must be invited to come here and say whether did he brief the minister before he signed that letter or not. Because the Act, Police Act, gives the DG the responsibility to advise the minister.
General, is it your evidence that a successful de-establishment of the political killings task team and a successful removal of the 121 dockets from KwaZulu-Natal to Pretoria would have definitely resulted into an abortion of justice?
It's exactly what has happened has resulted into that. Although the dockets are back in KZN, but we are sitting with a lot of complaints already from our clients out there, because there was an obstruction that happened as a result of that decision.
General, thank you very much. No further questions, Your Worship.